Hi, my name is Jackie, and I'm addicted to Survivor.
Hi, my name is Molly, and I'm addicted to Survivor.
And now the latest scourge on television, reality TV.
So I think this week made up for last week, but first I wanted to say happy birthday to Dallas.
Happy birthday, Dallas. 6 years old.
Mm.
She's doing well.
And I feel like it's important to note that we are recording this on Friday the 13th, so it is an awesome birthday to have, period.
Yes, and she was born on Friday the 13th in 2016.
Amazing.
So,
Is this the first birthday that she's had on Friday the 13th since she was born? I have no idea. Like, I know there's like a rhythm to it, but I don't know what the rhythm is.
no, I think there was one before, but
Okay.
I didn't pick her up until December 1st when I flew to Texas to pick up my Dallas girl. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay,
she's a happy
so
girl.
I'm glad. And what did you get? You fed her special food today.
Yes, she had special treats for breakfast, and we might do a photo shoot at some point this weekend to celebrate her birthday.
I can't wait to see pictures if that is what you decide to do. So I just rewatched the episode I only watched it 2 times this week because like I said, we were very busy rock hunting.
Well, something that occurred to me, um, we talk about Lulu because we've got Bella, Reba, and Lulu
Mm-hmm.
as the tribes.
Yes.
So we joke about Lulu losers, Lululemon,
Yeah.
yada yada yada. But um, the company Lululemon, I wonder if they're offended by how this is being thrown around.
Well, it's exceptionally funny to me because I think like there was some play on that wordplay in the documentary about them that was like basically blasting them a new one. So it's funny. But
That's crazy.
I was curious about where the tribe names came from because they're kind of unhinged to me. Like at one point, I thought they like just named them off of random crew members' dogs or something because they all sound like dog names. But they're
No,
actually
they're based on the colors.
no, they're actually Fijian words for different kind of birds. Like Lulu is some kind of owl, and Reba, I think, is some kind of hawk, and there was some kind of something other. That is what I read.
Well, it matches up to the blue, red, and yellow
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They definitely nailed the connection there for sure.
But of course, every time they say bellow, as in the blue tribe, I keep thinking of the minions because that's how they say hello. So, hello.
So we started out the episode with Jake falling into the fire and doing it in like the most weird way where he just like hopped up like an automatron.
Yeah, it's a good thing somebody was standing there because at least he didn't fall into the flames or anything. But
Yeah.
the way he fell over, it was timed appropriately that somebody was there to go, "Hey, buddy, you okay?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I wondered, it was such a quick moment. I wondered why they included it, why they thought it was important to include it. And I can think of one of two reasons. The first one being that Jake at some points get medevaced for some reason later on. And the second reason is the friendship and alliance between him and Kendra is going to become really important later on.
Yeah, because or they included it just so they could have it in the preview from last week, so that it would be, oh my God, something happened.
Oh my God, I hope it's not that. That would just, ugh.
So backing up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
right? They come back from last week's tribal,
Yes.
and Emily automatically says, wait a minute, somebody didn't vote.
Yes. And when she did that in a confessional, Caleb accused her of picking a fight. I didn't think she was picking a fight, did you?
No,
She
no,
was
I
just
think
stating a fact.
she was just trying to work it out, and she was honestly asking,
Mm-hmm.
something doesn't add up here,
Yep.
because there were only two names read. And of course, we as the audience, you know, sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes they don't read every single vote once it gets to the point where the majority has decided, right?
Correct. Yes, correct.
Right, and that's what the audience sees. But when you have a tribe of a handful of people and only two votes decides the person to go home, of course you're going to be scratching your head like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So she had every right to say something about that.
Yeah, and the fact that the rest of them didn't put it together on their own, just the level of gameplay is so weird this
No,
year.
I think they just thought that she would let it slide and she wouldn't be so bold as to voice her opinion on it. And once
She's
she did, they didn't have an answer.
she's really kind of growing on me.
Oh, I can't stand her.
She really grew on me this episode. And when we get to one of the challenges later, I'll explain a little bit more why.
So on Reba,
Yes.
here we have Drew and Austin digging at the tree,
It was like
and
Napoleon Dynamite and his buddy.
I know, it was terrible. And they didn't have a strategy really. You
No.
know, one person is going to look in north, south, east, west directions when you're not thinking this through, right?
And the way they were trying to like signal that they weren't doing anything strange was by like saying, "Oh, I want a taco right now."
Yeah, that
And the
was
other
that was.
one like, "Oh,
Now, here's my favorite quote from the episode.
mm-hmm.
So Drew gets busted by Dee and Julie,
Yes."
right? So first of all, he just gets up and wanders off like doo 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 doo. You're an idiot. Second of all, in his confessional describing the situation, he
Mm-hmm.
said, and I quote, "You catch me with my pants down, I got to give you something, to make up for it." What?
That this is like the most unhinged casting I think I've ever seen.
Napoleon Dynamite is the best description of that guy.
I feel like he has cultivated that persona. I feel like it's intentional, and it probably is because at the beginning he said he had two people inside of him or what the fuck ever.
Oh, God. I bet he's had somebody inside of him. He's just, he's a goofball, and his quotes are great.
Yes.
You got to admit that.
Yeah, I I don't like him though. He's a good
No.
narrator, but I think he's a dumb player.
Right, but that's the problem is that Lulu is the only one that has been um, on the hot seat,
Mhm.
right? So Reba and Bella have not been put in a position where they've had to really make any decisions. Even with their, you know, idol hunts and challenge,
Mhm.
competitions, they really haven't had to answer for anything.
Yeah, I really think that when Lulu gets mixed in with all of them, they're really going to just burn a path through whatever tribes they end up with. I think they're going to kind of annihilate everybody else because they're kind of like hardened and they know the drill and nobody else
Right.
does yet. And I think it's going to be really exciting to watch that play out next week.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're not doing what they've done in the past and allow a tribe to be decimated to the point where, you've got one or two people to absorb.
Yeah.
So that's good that they're trying to mix it up when, they're about to hit the wall.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they go to 2 or 3 tribes. Because they'll be at what, 15 people, so 3 makes a lot of sense. But I think at this point, a
They
2
could.
tribe system would be more fun. What if they do 2 tribes and then somebody has to go do something solitary because they keep throwing shit into this game?
Oh, I know. The idle clue where, okay, it means this much now, and it'll be 6 inches later, and it'll be 12 inches later. Come on. Who wants to be bothered by that?
Yeah. And
No.
again, I know part of it is because I'm spoiled by the cleverness of Australian Survivor, but
Right.
man, it seems dumbed down.
So, speaking of dumbed down, the reward challenge,
Yes.
which I loved it in its simplicity,
Mm-hmm.
because all you're doing is basically throw the ball, jump through you
The
know,
obstacle course
the
thingy.
obstacle thing, catch the ball, and then, all Caleb was doing an alley oop throw
Mm-hmm.
and let Lulu win right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, once he started doing the alley oop, people stopped trying to throw it like a frisbee and copied him.
And honestly, it's a basket. Like, why wouldn't you try to throw it that way?
No, once they were throwing the rings.
My brain's shut down. Forgot about the ring part.
One of the podcasts was saying, can you imagine if Brandon was still in this and he tried to do that obstacle thing through the ropes?
No. No, I can't.
Yeah.
It would like. Do you think that when they're coming up with challenges like that, they have like a something that they consider? They're like, oh, the percentage possibility that people will fall and eat it and we'll get good footage, because I feel like they take that into consideration.
Well, what was the one years ago? It was kind of like a human-sized slingshot where the girl got smacked in the face.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And then when you're on The Amazing Race, a woman was doing like a watermelon slingshot and got whaled in the face with a full watermelon.
Nice.
Still kept competing though. She was kind of a badass. So
again, this episode, the primary, focus was on Lulu the whole time.
yep. And one of the things that really stuck out to me this episode was Emily's reaction to them winning. And it made me reflect on Wei, who I hated at the beginning of her season. But then when she moved over to the Champions tribe and she understood what it felt like to be a part of a team and then like a winning team, I don't think Emily has ever really felt like part of a team. And I think she might have a little bit of an awakening and like really come into her own like Wei did.
Oh, you are so on Emily's coattails. I swear to
She
God.
really grew on me this episode because it was the Way thing that clicked into me, and I was like, oh, she's never been part of a team before. She doesn't know what it's like to feel supported.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I still don't think that she has the emotional quotient to really succeed on a team.
That is a good point. That is a good
No.
point.
So at the immunity challenge,
Yes.
okay, here's what bothered me. Emily was the caller. She
Mm-hmm.
was the one directing things once they got to that cube puzzle.
Yes.
And I don't know what happened with the editing, but Lulu was ahead at
by
that
a
point.
lot. It looked
Right,
like.
right. So then Bello and Reba are gelling, which, okay, they haven't had the stress that Lulu has had.
Hmm.
But then the editing just didn't show how Lulu fell apart.
No, I didn't understand it, and I was really trying to watch for that this episode because I didn't understand it the first time.
Right. So then at the end, you can show, they've got the sad music and, Lulu loses again. And, here's Emily's sad face and Sabaya's sad face and Caleb's
Mm.
sad face. And okay, why? Because
Yeah.
they're normally they focus on somebody, calling things wrong or lagging behind or, they didn't do that.
I'm telling you, it's because they want to make Emily look good. They are trying. I'm telling you, she is getting a winner's edit, and they're trying to make it not look like a winner's edit.
I would be very disappointed in that.
Because, like, if it was anybody else, I feel like they would have focused on the calling being the fuck up.
Right.
I'm telling you, I didn't realize that until you said it, but that just aligns with my editing theory and her being the winner.
Right, but it makes absolutely no sense because of our boot this week
Yes.
didn't call her out.
Nope.
And you would think if there was something that wasn't shown that she would say, "Oh, well, something that you guys didn't see was blah blah blah."
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, our speculation last week, why didn't Sabaya put the wax idol in the fire?
It just took her a week to think of it.
Actually, on her post-exit interview,
Mm-hmm.
she did think about it, but what she was going to do was she was going to put it in her torch, but she figured that it would melt and put the torch out. So it was already according to her, it was already on her mind to do it
Mm-hmm.
before she did it now.
Oh, we
But
didn't even. Oh, go ahead.
she did a great job. I mean, it's like she was tending to a barbecue up there.
Mm-hmm. Like she had her tool, and it was just a stick, but it was like the perfectly sized stick, and she had like a whole like process ready for when she took it out of the fire, and everybody just jumped to attention. And I read in I think Sabaya's interview with Entertainment Weekly that there was like 20 to 25 minutes not shown
Yes,
where they just watched it burn.
yes,
And
exactly.
I love that. I love that.
I think I think she did a great job with it. She just didn't know what she was uncovering
Yeah.
because yeah, to get up there and finally read it and then now you're going to risk it. Now, the thing is that everybody seemed to have a handshake deal.
Mm-hmm.
But then Emily went to Caleb, who had already established a relationship with her. So
Mm-hmm.
Emily runs to Caleb and says, "Hey, buddy, they're trying to get you out." Caleb is the one that had to really extend trust at that point
Yes, 100%. 100%.
because, for all he knew, Emily was just trying to save her own ass.
Mm-hmm. But oh, God, this does sound like me being on her jock all the time. I didn't get the vibe from her that she was. I genuinely felt like she was just trying to save her friend, and that might just be me projecting, but that's how I feel.
Right, but that's the hard part is then he had to, figure out what's your motive here.
Mm-hmm. I like Caleb more and more every week. Like he started out likable, and he somehow gets more likable every week.
Told you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we didn't even talk about him going over to the other camp, which I think he played very well.
He did, but he oversold it.
Yes.
He completely oversold it, and now they think, playa, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to trust him. And I don't know how else he could have been.
Yeah.
Because he extended the olive branch to the point where, they would see him as a alliance
Mm-hmm.
prospect. That why wouldn't you want to do that? You're not going to go over there and kick their shelter over.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I don't understand playing negative like that at all.
right, but then on the other side, they're like, "Oh my God, he was too nice." Well, what did you want to happen?
Yeah. I wondered why he didn't take the flint.
That's a good point. I didn't think about
Like
that.
that bothered me so much that they took the fishing equipment and not the flint. Because how are they going to cook the
Well,
fish?
he did make the statement that he didn't want to decimate them, so he didn't take the spear.
And that was very nice of him. I did like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if that's your attitude, you don't want to decimate them, then you don't want to take their flint.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like getting the flint is just because, I mean, let's be honest, they were probably going to lose the flint again at immunity, whatever. And Jeff will just give the other tribe a flint back. It gives them enough time to start a fire, which I think is more important to them than, I don't know, fishing nets, but I don't know. Maybe they weren't allowed to.
Maybe they like sushi.
I guess. I would
But
be so afraid to do that. I wouldn't know what's good and what's bad.
the fresh stuff is good. The rancid stuff is bad. So anyway, Sabaya,
Yes.
so disappointed in her leaving. I had such high hopes for her.
Same.
Her accent is gorgeous.
I wrote down, I love her speaking voice so much. And it's true. She has a beautiful speaking voice. I would listen to her narrate the phone book.
Exactly.
It is beautiful. And like it, because she's a truck driver for her day job. And I just imagine her on the CB with that voice. And I bet she's got a lot of over the road friends.
Well, it's just enough southern accent to be beautiful without sounding stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I looked it up, and she's from Georgia.
Oh, does it say which part?
It said the city. I don't remember.
I thought it felt really familiar.
Yeah,
Yes, that
but
was.
she's the kind of person you would run into in Waffle House and sit up next to at the bar and just talk to for a couple of hours while you ate your smothered and covered.
Oh God, 100%. That's one of the best parts of Waffle House too.
Exactly.
I'm sad to see her go, but it was a really fun way for her to go. I thought it played out really nicely.
It was fun, and I completely expect her to be somebody that they would ask back.
100%, just because of her like excellent narration skills and just like you could see the bones of her strategy, and it would play out well if it didn't play out the way it did.
Right, but I can't wait to hear um at whatever point later, did Caleb not trust her? What happened to that relationship?
Yeah, it did kind of fall apart, didn't it?
Because there was no reason for that to fall apart the way it did.
No. No, and I don't think that like Emily or like Sean definitely. Oh my God. Sorry, I said Sean's name and I remembered like he went through all 7 stages of grief when Sabaya got voted out, like immediately on his face all at once. It was
Right,
magical.
but at the end of the day, if you're on a losing tribe and you're going to get rid of Sabaya before Sean,
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how they do the tribes, how they shake out. And I hope they don't do some weird solitary island thing.
No, I hope not.
I don't like that. I did notice that they showed Jake in the preview again, and I don't know if it's just because he's good TV or what, but he's been in like every single preview for next week, and I don't know what that means.
You know what? Jake strikes me as a Boston redneck.
I can see that.
Is that even a thing?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. There's gotta be Boston people that like go hunt deer.
Not a deer hunter, just a yokel, you know, I'm from Boston. Like you would think a redneck, but he's from Boston.
But he's a lawyer.
I don't care.
He's an interesting fella. And then there's some people that have made zero impression on me whatsoever, and I don't remember. But they did highlight the Katura and Bruce rivalry, so I think that you're right there that that's going to be a storyline that we're going to be following for a long time.
Oh, that one's going to be big.
Yeah, I think you're right. And again, I'm going to keep an eye on a Kendra and Jake team up because of that scene. And they do have a good feel together, Kendra and Jake, I think.
Jake's not physically fit.
No, not at all. I think Kendra is more physically fit than him, and she was kind of a badass in the challenge until she had to throw the rings.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't see Jake long for this world anyway.
Yeah. I like his vibe still. He makes me happy to watch.
Ugh. Okay, so who's your top dog?
I think Emily's going to win still because of my previously stated editing things.
No.
But I would rather Caleb win.
I'm still gonna ride Team Caleb.
All right.
I have to because I think she's good TV, but just like okay, and I'm gonna talk out of both sides of my mouth right now when I say for Sabaya it was too early for her to put a hit on Caleb.
Yes. Yeah, I wrote down that she was playing way too hard, way too early.
Yeah, I understand why she was doing it, but this early in the game, I mean, look at how far George took Shawnee.
Yes.
You don't have to get your BFF out so early that it bites you in the ass.
Correct.
So.
Correct. All right. What was on the preview for? Oh, Jake was on the preview for next week. What else was on the preview?
Drop your buffs.
Ah, that's right. That's right. The swap. And we've already talked about that. So we did the thing once again. I've been Jackie.
I've been Molly.
Stay tuned.